Northeast Tonight, brought to you by Oil India Limited, conquering newer horizons.
Hello and welcome to Northeast Tonight, the show that decodes the region. Issues in the Northeast never get resolved easily. The Naga issue has been hanging fire for over 7 decades now and eludes an agreement 4 months after the concerned parties declared that a breakthrough has been reached. This has compelled the existing Joint Legislative Forum in Nagaland to form a 20-member core committee to push the centre to have the deal clinched. Meghalaya is now in the news with groups and individuals pressing for extension of the inner line permit system to the state, with a conglomeration of 17 groups pushing the demand under the banner of the Confederation of Meghalaya Social Organizations, or COMSO. The state BJP in Meghalaya, which is a part of the NPP-led coalition, has backed the demand and has promised to take up the matter with the BJP central leadership. In Assam, the Anti-Citizenship Amendment Act star has become less strident but is on nonetheless with protests in different parts of the state. Several questions arise. Should New Delhi attach more importance to non-violent social and student groups in the region? Peace talks and red carpet welcome to rebels who bid farewell to arms are fine. But should the centre evolve a mechanism to deal with democratic protests more seriously and efficiently? We are aware of the existence of a central ministry called DONA. But should DONA be revamped, or has the time come for a separate central ministry for Northeastern affairs to deal with the political and social issues that keep the region in the limelight all throughout the year? To discuss the subject, I am joined from Kohima by Naga Hoho leader, Mr. Eluandang, senior leader of the Naga Hoho. Also in Kohima, I have a top leader of the Naga Tribes Council, Mr. Teza Theri. In Shillong, I have Mr. Robert June Kharjarin, chairman of the Confederation of Meghalaya Social Organizations, or COMSO. Mr. Batskem Mirbo, assistant professor of political science at the Synod College, also joins me from Shillong. In Imphal, I have Mr. Yumnam Rupachandra, editor-in-chief of Impact TV and one of the most influential voices in the state. And at our studios in Guwahati, I have Arunav Goswami, assistant director at the Center for Development and Peace Studies, a Guwahati-based think tank. Gentlemen, welcome to the program. Let me go straight to you, Mr. Eluandang, leader of the Naga Hoho in Kohima. Mr. Eluandang, once again, welcome to Northeast Tonight. Question is, it's been almost 4 months since the different parties, all the stakeholders in Nagaland, the key players, they have declared that a breakthrough has been achieved. Now, what's going on? Why is it that the Joint Legislators Forum has been compelled, appears to have been compelled to form a 20-member core committee to do nothing but to push the government? Why should things like this be pushed? Do you think it should come naturally? Its long years have been passed.
Yes, Wasbir, we are informed that the formal talks have been concluded with 31st October 2019. 4 months have lapsed. Still, we are yet to see the light. I must tell you that there are also lots of complications within the Naga society. Perhaps that could be one of the reasons that has delayed, not only on the failure on the part of the government of India, but even within the Naga society. However, we are also made to understand that the process of discussions on delicate issues are on. We are made to understand that frequent meetings are taking place between the interlocutor and the Naga people.
Right.
Secondly, on the formation of the core committee, I do not see who has forced the legislators to form the committee. It is best can be explained by the legislators. I don't have any comment over the formation of the core committee.
Right. Mr. Thaza Terry, your colleague, Mr. Elu Andang, has said that he has no comment to make. Yes, that's true. But the point is, the impression is that, the people are getting restless. Even the legislators, they had to form a core committee. They said that they formed a core committee to push the government so that an amicable solution is reached sooner than later. Now, do you think that delays create a lot of problems? Northeastern region is always in the news on issues and nothing gets resolved quickly. Only after agitations, lot of pressure, only after that things move. So what is going on?
Yeah, we have been waiting for the solution which was promised to the people for a long time now. The formal talk was over by 31st of October. And now we are expecting that the government of India will decisively and magnanimously act so the solution will be brought about. In the meantime, yes, as legislators, they need to play a proactive and facilitator.
Right.
So it is good that they have formed a core committee. Hopefully they will be able to facilitate the peace process which was concluded so that in the transition there will be a smooth landing.
Right. Okay. Okay, I'm coming back to both of you in Kohima, but Mr. Yumnam Rupachandra, Yumnam, basically, Rupachandra, Manipur is also always on the news for some issue or the other. Only in the last few days, after the inland land permit has been given to the state, people appear to be a little more relaxed because there was this anti-Ka agitation was at its peak in Manipur around that time. Now my question to you, Rupachandra, is why is it that issues in the Northeast do not get resolved easily? Always there has to be agitations, there has to be a lot of noise. And do you think the center should devise a mechanism to take more seriously even groups which are non-violent and engaged in democratic protest? Do you think time has come now for that?
Wasbir, you and I have been reporting from this region for last 30 years.
Yes.
30 plus years.
Yes.
You know how things have been going on. As far as the Northeast and the states in the Northeast are concerned, for the center, it's a fringe state kind of thing. So everything that we should have been given to us by the virtue of being part of a nation has to be taken through pressures that we have seen. Just take a look at how Manipur became a state of the country, of the nation. It has to be through strike. Think of it. Manipur was an independent kingdom. We all know that.
Right.
After we got freedom from the British, we joined the Union of India. The circumstances are controversial, debatable, but nevertheless we have joined it. Yet it was years after, only after people of this state came out on the street to demand statehood that we got it. So why should a nation why should a kingdom that merged with the Union of India have to demand its own statehood? Why should the center not have worked out a system to provide statehood and the rights to the citizens under that states and the union as per the law? So I know, we have been reporting from this region for 30 plus years. What has been happening in the entire Northeast is that the center only listens to forces and pressures. It never, I'll repeat that, it never takes up issues that is genuine to the people and
Right.
solve it before people come out on the street and shout.
Right.
It happened with the statehood. It happened when the Manipuris wanted their language to be included in the 8th schedule. The Manipuri language, as you know, the Manipuri dance and culture, it's an internationally renowned kind of thing, which deserves recognition at the national level. Yet the Manipuris had to come out in the street to
Right.
close down
So
shops,
these-
to shut down the city.
Right.
So it's like you said,
Absolute.
it's time that the center actually studies the states. Every different state in the Northeast has different dynamics.
Right, absolutely.
The state
Rupa,
should-
I'm coming back to you. Very, very significant point that Rupa Chandra, the editor-in-chief of Impact TV, one of the most popular local television channels in Imphal. Very important point that Rupa Chandra is making there. I'll come back to Rupa Chandra to develop on that. Let me quickly go to Shillong, where I have Mr. Robert June Kharjarin, who is the chairman of the COMSO. COMSO is the Confederation of Meghalaya Social Organizations, a conglomeration of 17 groups. Robert June Kharjarin, you know, you are in the middle of the ILP agitation right now. Inner line permit you have been demanding. We are discussing the issue. Why is it that, you know, issues in the Northeast are not resolved quickly? You know, you are also having to lead a big agitation demanding inner line permit. So what do you have to say, Robert June?
First of all, thank you, Mr. Wasbir. You see, like if you properly analyze, not only in the state of Meghalaya but entire Northeast, it seems to be Delhi is very far away, and maybe there are few good reasons for that.
Maybe increase the audio,
Maybe
please.
when it comes to the hello, hello.
Yes, carry on.
Maybe
I can
maybe
hear
when
you.
it comes to the maybe when it comes to answer your question, it seems like because we have less number of MP, or because we are insignificant to the national politics, thing has been taken lightly by the union government. Issue which specifically affect only one state like ILP has been kept on in the cold storage, and nothing has been taken up the matter quickly. We even after the state passed the resolution for almost 1 than 2 months, ILP has not even discussed by the Home Minister along with the state minister. So this is very bad, and we do hope that in
Right.
near futures,
Okay.
thing will be taken a
More-
bit serious by the central government.
All right, I'll come back to you. Now, I have Professor Batskem Mirbo, who is an assistant professor at the Synod College. Professor Mirbo, do you agree with your fellow panelist in Shillong, Mr. Robert June Kharjarin, that the northeastern region has very few MPs, and therefore the issues do not get highlighted on the floor of the House as well as outside, and therefore the people are left with no option other than engaging in street protests to make their demands heard? So is it one of the reasons why the issues in the Northeast do not get resolved easily?
Hello.
Okay, I'll come back to him later. Arnav Goswami, what do you think? The same question goes to you.
Can you repeat the question? Now I can hear you. Can you repeat the
Okay,
question?
my question is, Professor Batskem Mirbo, is that, Mr. Robert Kharjarin has said that, since the region has less MPs, our issues are not heard, and therefore the organizations have no option but to carry on street protests to make their demands heard. Do you subscribe to this view?
Yeah, you see, when you look at issues raised by the groups in the region over the years, for example, let us take the case of Manipur. The issue of ILP in Manipur has been a long history. They started raising the issue in the 1980. Then in 1990 also they raised the issue. Then in 2000,
Yeah.
also they raised the issue. In 2012 especially, they made a very powerful movement. But it was only when it served the interest of the government of India at the center that the ILP was given to Manipur. To Manipur in 2019 so easily, what was the problem that they faced in the early decades of implementing the same? So here we can raise a question is, why before it was not done, why today it is done? And therefore here the issue that involved is, unless and until it serves the purpose of the ruling class of the Indian state, the issue of Northeast was not addressed. What I want to stress here, in order to avoid this kind of unnecessary turmoil in the region, the center has to try to address the issues in Northeast India from the Northeast perspective instead from the central perspective.
I'll come back to you.
And
I'll come back to you.
To a good extent, I would agree with what Robert Kharjar stated.
Right. I'll come back to you and develop on that. Arnav, what are your opening remarks?
Well,
very quickly.
What I'll say, because if you see, there are main three root causes why we're having these kind of issues here. First is the history, the narrative that certain parts of Northeast were never part of India and had been annexed by the Indian government or the British at one time of time in history. The second is that the perception that there is a step motherly attitude of the center towards this region. And the third is the illegal migration, because of which even this current ILP is in Meghalaya is also based on this, the fear of illegal migration. So if you see the history, we can't change, but there are these two issues: perception management and the illegal migration, prevention of illegal migration. Unless there are some solid steps taken in these 2 years, we will not see the protest and these kind of issues going down this region in this region.
Need for solid. Mr. Eluandang. Now, we all know this question. I am going to Teza Theri as well. But first, Mr. Eluandang, we know that there is this ministry called donor. But donor is basically for trade and commerce, promoting culture, and generally all soft power politics. But do you need a ministry dealing with hardcore political and social issues in the northeastern region? For example, the Naga talks. If there would have been a ministry for northeastern affairs in Delhi, headed by a minister who is authorized and to take the call on behalf of the Prime Minister to fast-track things. Donor is a very soft kind of a ministry. Okay, trade and commerce, culture, fashion shows, organized seminars, this and that, nobody takes it seriously. Do you think time has come to take a re-look? Do we need a hardcore ministry for northeastern affairs in New Delhi, looking into the political and social issues?
Yes, donor is something which we need to seriously look into it. As of now, as you have rightly stated, donor is functioning just in a form of receiving projects and then releasing funds, and nothing more than that. I think donor has to be more proactive in all these social issues that confronts the Northeast region. In every issues, every state has been faced with problems which are not convenient to their respective states. For example, like Nagaland, Meghalaya, Manipur, Arunachal, Assam. Every state has been raising out their voices. The common people have been in the street.
Right.
But the government of India hardly listens to it and tends to ignore about it. Therefore, a strong mechanism, a strong ministry, a political setup has to be there to look into all these matters and address accordingly in time.
Okay, I'm taking this question to Teza. Teza, what is your thought on this? The same question goes to you. Do you think time has come for some hard look into the northeastern region? Because boys and girls have to spend most of the time on the roads, on the street, protesting. What is going on? I mean, they are wasting their valuable time they're wasting their academic life demanding for political issues and social issues concerning the state and the people to do something for the future? I mean, do you think we need to take a hard look at all this?
I fully agree with you. The government of India have never taken Northeast region seriously. Unless we come to the street, our voices are never heard, and we are small and marginalized most of the time. And what is required now is they have to come and understand our situation. They have to connect with the grassroots, and so that it will deliver the program and policies of the government of India.
Right.
But at the moment, the nominal kind of ministry that is placed for Northeast, it is not working. It is not connecting with the grassroots people. The development are not reaching the people. So this hardly have any meaning for us.
So,
if government of India
right.
is serious enough, they should come, they should understand us, and they should translate this into the grassroots level.
Let me take this to Rupa Chandra, one of the Northeast most veteran journalists. Rupa Chandra, what is your view? Has Donner failed the Northeast actually? Is Donner a glorified some kind of a council doling out cash to people whom it likes? What is going on? Do you think Donner has to be, because why is it that Donner doesn't even have a single office anywhere in the Northeastern region? Or Donner now will say, oh, we have the Northeastern Council, that is a part of Donner. So these kind of arguments we have heard. But point is, it's nothing against Donner as such. But the point is, do you think we need a more serious ministry in New Delhi now to look into affairs of the Northeast?
Well, you can still make Donner into a very serious ministry with proper agenda and proper focus. It's an idea which is good at initial stage, but as you go on, it has turned out to be like just another ministry through which funds from the center can be rotated and revolved. So what I would say is that along with revamping Donner, giving it a because see the government of India is seriously interested in decreasing the fiscal deficit it has with China. China is one of the biggest economy that's coming up. India would like to believe that it's competing with China. So when it turns look east to act east policy, the Northeast is a very important area, and there is a need for the central government to develop the Northeast infrastructurally, but that is not enough. We don't want to be developed just infrastructurally. We want the donor to develop our people along with the infrastructure.
Yeah, but Rupa Chandra, you will agree with me. Rupa Chandra, you will agree with me. Yeah. You will agree with me that Prime Minister Narendra Modi is the only Prime Minister who has made almost 40 visits to the Northeastern region in the last, last about 6.5 years or 6 years. In the last 6 years, he has made more than 30 visits at least to the Northeastern region. And ministers' visit to the region has been also maximum. Do you think that has had some impact?
Is that enough to make up for the last 6-7 decades of neglect? I would say no. But it's a good start. It's a good start. Ministers in the center should start taking the Northeast states seriously. It should look at it from not from the point of just taking out its resources, but developing its people.
Okay.
Its people as resources for the nation.
Right.
It should not replace the people of the Northeast with an alien demography to serve its infrastructural problems.
Right. Let me Robert June Kharjarin, what is your next step now? You are agitating, you are on the streets, you are leading 17 groups, you are on the streets agitating for an inner line permit. Now, what is the status? What is your further course of action? The Meghalaya BJP has taken the initiative. They have said that they will go and talk to the center. So, can you elaborate? What is your next step? What is going on? Robert.
you see, Mr. Wasbir, the ILP demand in the state of Meghalaya has been started since 1973. The 1 year after we get the statehood, this issue has been raised in the Legislative Assembly, and actually attempt has been made more than twice to bring even legislation and bill here. Then finally, in the last year, December, finally the Legislative Assembly pass a resolution. So we expect that the union government will honor and respect the resolution passed by the Legislative Assembly. But the ground reality, I would like to tell to you very frank that the people are impatient, the youth are angry. And I don't know what's happening next if talk does not taking place tonight, and if this issue has not been taken seriously, and if ILP resolution was not taken as a priority by the Home Ministry, thing will get from bad to worse.
Okay, Robert, are you saying that things may go out of control? Are you saying today that things may go out of control if a proper decision is not taken?
As I told you, yes, as I told you, I myself stay in the ground. I met people. I talk and discuss with people. The people are very angry, and I don't know how to explain if thing is not addressed in a proper way and in a proper manner. And secondly, I think I would totally agree with your point. Yes.
Yeah, carry on.
Yes,
carry on.
Thing may be out of control if thing may be out of control in the state of Meghalaya if this issue is not settled one and for all. Because if you see the history, the issue of immigration in the state of Meghalaya has been a long pending demand by the state of Meghalaya.
Right.
Earlier, the Legislative Assembly in the 1973 they passed the Meghalaya Residential Bill. The same has been rejected by the President of India. Then in the 1980 they passed the Meghalaya Employment Bill. The same has been rejected again by the President of India. And in 2006, a 3-tier ID system supposed to be implemented, but that also has been rejected by the union government. So if this will be the fourth time, this will be the fourth time for the state of Meghalaya to come out with a
Right, Robert. What is the role of Are you happy with the role of the state government? Are you happy with the role of the Congress Sangma government? Are you happy with the role?
To be very frank, we have tell in our press briefing earlier also that we did not see that the Meghalaya government has follow up the issue with an aggressive step. We thought that yesterday they will meet, then no meeting yesterday. Today they say they will meet at 7 or 8. There is no confirmation yet. We are a bit worried about the role play by the state government also.
Okay, I'll have to go for a short break, but don't go away. When I come back, I'll go to all my panelists in Shillong, in Kohima, in Imphal, and of course here at the studios in Guwahati. Don't go away. I'll be right back. Welcome back. Professor Batske Mirbo, you know what Robert June Kharjarin has said, that the inland permit from 1973 onwards, this has been going on. And you have also said earlier, the question is, that brings into my question. The peaceful democratic protests are generally ignored. People take their own sweet time. People in authority, they take their own sweet time to deal with issues which are the result of democratic movements. So, do you think that needs a drastic change? And therefore, are you in favor of a new ministry? Or do you think, as Rupa Chandra has said, donor needs an urgent revamp?
Okay, regarding this ILP movement that we have had in Meghalaya, as Robert June Kharjarin stated, that it has a long history in Meghalaya. And we talk about the democratic nature of the movement, let us go back to 2013 when we had when the pressure groups in the state of Meghalaya launched a very strong movement for the implementation of ILP. In that year, I remember that the movement was by and large a peaceful method. But in that year, it was not the central government that rejected, it was a state government that rejected the idea or the demand for implementation of the ILP in the state of Meghalaya. However, this time around, it is, both the pressure groups as well as the political parties, they have accepted the need for implementation of the ILP in the state. Therefore, here what really intrigued me is the sudden turn of event that the political parties in the state of Meghalaya, they have all of them, they have accepted the importance of ILP. So this is the first opportunity for the government of India to look into the issue of the demand of ILP in the state. As I said before, the demand of ILP implementation in the state hardly reached the central government because the hurdle at the state level was never broken before. Yes, though the demands before were made for different kind of legislations to regulate migration, but this demand for ILP
so you're basically saying that
this is the first time that the government of India would have the opportunity.
The point you are trying to make is that this has been a long-standing demand, so it has not been really addressed for so long, and this delay is making people restless. Mr. Eluandang, I'm coming back to you, Robert Butskam. Mr. Eluandang, now we have been discussing the Inalan issue in Meghalaya. Now the Naga issue, you see, insurgents have a ceasefire. Take the case of the NSC and IM. They are on a ceasefire for the last, 23 years. They are on a ceasefire since 1997. So Nagaland is technically peaceful. Nagaland has been technically peaceful. Nobody is on the streets demanding a peaceful solution to the Naga issue now anymore. But now 4 months ago, there was a breakthrough was declared. We have seen those pictures being posted by the stakeholders. Now, total silence. Do you think that can once again lead to some kind of an agitation on the streets, demanding that, okay, solve the Naga issue, it has been too long now? Is such a possibility likely? Or do you rule that out?
We cannot rule that out. People are still having patience, understanding the difficulties of the negotiating parties, keeping in mind the difficulties of the government of India and also the key negotiators. But people cannot remain silent for this long. If it continues at this rate, we cannot guarantee that any situation may arise any time at any point of time.
Teza Theri, we all know that the interlocutor and the governor of Nagaland, Mr. R.N. Ravi, is a very experienced hand. The Naga peace talks is being led from the government of India by a very experienced person like Mr. R.N. Ravi, who has been dealing with the issue for so long. Despite that, it is taking so long. We are all aware, you are aware, I am aware that, and as Mr. Eluandang has said, that this is a very sensitive issue that requires a very sensitive handling, because while trying to solve the Naga issue, you don't want to create another problem in the neighborhood. That's all right. But, what is going on, because the concerned parties said that the breakthrough has been achieved. There was an impression given that the accord is going to be signed anytime. This was the impression one got on the end of October, sorry.
Yeah, we have a strong confidence that Mr. R.N. Ravi is well versed with our situation and he's well connected with the people.
Yeah.
And we expect that he will deliver what is being promised by the leadership of the government of India. Yes, at the moment, we have been waiting for a solution that is promised for so long. And of course, the political conflict that has been going on for 70 years, we know that it is not easy. The road is not easy. So we are patiently waiting. We don't want to precipitate. We don't want to bring out a situation that will disturb the smooth landing of the solution. That is why we are keeping calm. We are giving our full confidence that government of India, the leadership will take a decisive and take a call on this. So we are anxiously waiting. I think it's a high time government of India should deliver what they have promised without wasting any more time.
Right. Now, Arnav, you know, when we are discussing this issue, you see, the issues in the Northeast are such that only the Union Home Minister and the Union Home Ministry can address. Yes. All the issues that keeps the Northeast on the boil. If you look at the current issues, the ILP issue in in Meghalaya, you know, the Citizenship Amendment Act agitations, whether it is the Naga issue, it is either the PMO directly or the MHA only can deal and handle these issues. Now, in view of this, do you think the Home Minister is the Home Minister for the entire country? He has a lot of issues to deal with. Prime Minister has to look at India's foreign policy apart from other things. Now, the question is, do you think now the time has come for an exclusive ministry for Northeastern affairs? Rename it, revamp it, do whatever you like, but it cannot be just a ministry dealing with soft issues on promoting the culture and handicrafts of the Northeastern region. For that, the Commerce Ministry, I suppose, is enough. Now, the point is, do you think time has come to have a separate minister for Northeastern affairs who will seriously deal with issues on a day-to-day basis? Because when you are dealing with one issue, two other issues are already arising.
No, I think instead of forming a separate ministry, the current donor ministry has to be revamped. And
that is what Mr. Rupa Chandra, I am going back to Rupa Chandra.
And the first step should be opening an office in Northeast India. That should be the first step in this regard. Because every time...
But office in Northeast India will be headed by a bureaucrat. So how can the bureaucrats resolve the issues?
And I am saying the first step should be opening of office here and then expanding the role and activities of the donor ministry. The current role and responsibilities that the donor ministry have doesn't cover certain issues like the law and order activities or foreign policy activities. This has to be brought under the ambit of the donor ministry.
Rupa Chandra, what is the road ahead actually? How do we resolve issues? Because you solve one issue, three other issues are already arising that requires the attention of the Union Home Minister, if not the Prime Minister.
You got to see, Wasbir, you got to look at Northeast differently. There are issues which are state specific, and then there are issues which are overlapping. You cannot solve one issue without touching the other. So when the central government approaches the issues in the Northeast, it must divide it into two forms, where there are some issues that needs to take holistic approach. For example, when you want to solve the Naga issue, Assam, Arunachal Pradesh and Manipur are affected. So there you cannot just concentrate on Nagaland or Nagas. You need to take into confidence people around it. Similarly, there are so many other issues that overlap each other. And then there are issues that are specific to the states. Now, as we have been talking about revamping the donor ministry, why revamp? Now, creating a new ministry and then putting all the paraphernalia together, it's going to take time. So we suggest that you revamp the donor, give it a teeth, give it a power, and then also give it a time-bound, table for it to solve the issues in the Northeast. And it's also true that it cannot alone solve the issue. At some point in time, the donor ministry, after it understands the Northeast, has to bring it up at the home level,
Yes.
at the prime ministerial level.
Absolutely.
So, but what you need now is a ministry that can work 24/7 for the Northeast people, divide, understand its problem, specific to its areas and specific to its regions. Only then can
Right.
we
Very important
hope of
point.
solving
Very
these
important
issues.
point. Robert June Kharjaring, you have heard veteran journalist Rupa Chandra saying that 24/7 you require a central ministry dealing and working on the northeastern region so that things can be resolved quickly and the area is made to progress and prosper. Robert.
Yes, I totally agree with the senior journalist from Imphal on this point, and with you, Mr. Wasbir. You see, India is too vast, and Northeast is a region which where issue need to be addressed as quickly as possible. I can give you an example like Assam Accord, signed in 1985. Till date, no implementation on Clause 6. You see, that is how the people of Northeast has been suffers. Meghalaya demand ILP is 1973 till date, no result. So it's a high time that the government of India must create an office or a body where issue will be directly addressed by the particular ministry. I can give you an example of a sixth schedule. A sixth schedule, all the district council is located in Northeast. Why an office has to be there in Delhi? 10 district council is there in Northeast only, but the office will deal with it. The Home Ministry is in Delhi. This is illogical. So if you see of Article 321 in Manipur and Assam, they have a specific committee dealing with the tribal. This committee is an advisory committee. So I feel like this kind of committee needed to be there at the union government also, where the MP of Northeast will sit together, think together, and they will be directly accountable and responsible for solving of issue of Northeast. So I do feel that by whatever name, but I do feel that a ministry need to be there to solve the political and social problem of the people of Northeast. It's high time that we need such kind of ministry.
Kharjaring, finally, my last question to you, actually, what will be the road ahead? What will be your agitation program if the issue is not resolved in the next 1 or 2 days? Do you have an agitation program?
We hope and pray that thing will resolve by tonight, but just in case thing is not solved, so yes, from our side also we will have an emergency meeting and declare the stringent course of action.
Okay, Professor Batskem Mirbo, your final comments. I'm running short of time.
My final comment is the government of India should see the problems in Northeast India not only from the developmental perspective. Rather, the government of India should look also into the sensitive issue of identity. Here in Northeast India, there are two twin issues that go hand in hand, the identity issue and development issue. So far, the government of India is trying to look into the problem from the developmental issue. Thereby, they created the NEC, they created the Ministry of Donor, which basically deals with development. But here, what is needed to understand is look into the issues of both development and identity and try to solve the problem. These two twin objectives or these two twin problems
look
cannot
at
be
both.
separated
Look at
from
both
the
the
politics
issues.
of
Okay,
Northeast.
Mr. Teza Theri, final comments from you. How to break the deadlock as far as the Naga issue is concerned? How can we resolve it? What do you think the road ahead now?
Yeah, at the moment, what is crucial is for government of India to prioritize, and the Home Ministry must prepare the ground. At the leadership, the government of India, the Prime Minister must take a call. And now the situation is very conducive in the entire Northeast. It's a good time for the landing of the solution. People in the neighboring states are also receptive. This good understanding this goodwill that is prevailing now is the right time, and this is the right time government of India to decisively and also proactively engaged and also deliver what they have promised.
Okay. Now, Mr. Eluandang, is the Naga Ho-Ho, do you have a plan of action in the days ahead? Are you holding a meeting? Are you setting up a subcommittee to look into the things, what's going on? Do you have any specific plan under the banner of the Naga Ho-Ho?
Yes, we have upcoming meetings very soon. And we have also formed a committee called Committee on Naga Political Affairs. So these committees will be sitting very soon, and we will be taking up plan of actions to pursue for early solution.
All right, so the Naga Ho-Ho, breaking news is that the Naga Ho-Ho, the Apex Tribal Council of the Nagas, they have also set up a committee called the Committee on Naga Political Affairs, which is going to meet very soon. A lot of developments taking place in Nagaland. The elected representatives have formed a core committee. The Joint Legislators Forum has formed a 20-member core committee. Now, the breaking news on Northeast Live is that the Naga Ho-Ho has set up a Committee on Naga Political Affairs, which is going to meet very soon to take the issue forward. Rupa Chandra, your final comments.
Well, Wasbir, Northeast, to bring about peace, prosperity, and for people all in the region to live together is a dream that we all have been dreaming. But there are overlapping aspirations or overlapping demands. When we have a peaceful lull at the moment, it can turn any direction, any time, depending on how the central government acts. I would caution that it act taking into consideration all people, all parties which will be affected by any decision. There can be no peaceful solution.
Absolutely. Take everybody, the call, that is what you are saying.
Confidence.
Right, take everybody along is what Rupa Chandra is saying. Arnav, 20 seconds to you.
Well, I'll say that the government should listen to peaceful protests in the region instead of waiting for the protests to turn violent, and there should be a revamp of the donor ministry so that it becomes the one-stop approach for the issues concerning Northeast India.
Absolutely. Listen to peaceful protest in the region, revamp DONA, and take the Northeast more seriously. This is the gist of today's show. Of course, everybody in Nagaland and Meghalaya and Manipur and of course Assam waiting for resolutions to the burning issues. I thank all my panelists for engaging in this discussion today and the viewers for watching the program. Good night and goodbye.
Northeast Tonight, brought to you by Oil India Limited, conquering newer horizons.